Conscious Culinary Podcast, and I'm your host, wellness chef Tracy Clark. This show is all about raising awareness about the effects our food choices have on ourselves, our communities, and the planet. So thanks for tuning in. What are we talking about today? Well, I have a lot of fun information to go over. We're talking about eating the rainbow. Okay, the rainbow diet. I'm not talking about Skittles. We're not that kind of eat the rainbow. Okay, they're really big proponents of eating the rainbow, but a whole different perspective. So we're talking about eating the rainbow, and this is a really great base strategy for anybody out there who is saying to themselves, I really want to eat better. I really want to lead a healthier life. I just don't really know how to do it. This is the solution I have for you today. And also, I just want to point out that sometimes when we're procrastinating something, like how many feel like they're procrastinating at getting started on this new healthy lifestyle? I learned recently something really interesting about procrastinating. A huge reason that we procrastinate is because we are unclear about how to go about what we want to do, right? So I know sometimes I'm really bad with my business and like putting posts up on Facebook and Instagram and stuff because that's just not how my brain works, right? And I procrastinate at doing it. And then when somebody pointed that out, it was like, oh yeah, I guess if I had like a really good plan and I felt really confident about how to advertise, I would probably stop procrastinating. And when it comes to your diet, it's the same thing, right? We procrastinate leading this healthier lifestyle because we're really not that clear about just what that means. And there is so much information out there right now. It's overwhelming. And it can be good, right? Because I would say the general public is a lot more aware today than they were 30 years ago about general knowledge on their health and how the body works, right? I mean, we use lingo all the time that we weren't using about food, when our parents were kids, right? It's just things have really changed. And although it does bring more awareness about food and health, it also can be just overwhelming at times. I don't know if this has happened to you, but this is one thing that drives me crazy when you're watching, you're looking at Facebook or something and they have those ads that come on and they're like, the 3 foods you should never eat, or, 5 foods that are making you fat. And you're like, what? I need to find out. And so we watch this 15-minute video and they don't say what the 3 things are till like the very last minute, right? It drives me crazy. And just know that if you're watching a video going, wow, they're going to tell me some really good information, I just have to wait. They're trying to sell you something, right? That's not real. So that drives me crazy. There's just too much. And we see there's all these different diet plans, right? We can be vegan, we can be vegetarian, we can be paleo, pescatarian, keto. There's just too much. And that's why for me, I have my own philosophy called being a conscious eater. And that's where I say, look, if you're going to eat something, you ask yourself 3 questions. Does it taste good? Is it going to make you feel good? And can you feel good about it, right? That's all we need to be asking ourselves. And if we can be honest and truthful and answer yes to each one of those foods, go for it. Because the answer could change, right? Maybe you're a yes to those questions pertaining to a certain meal today, but next week, maybe you realize it's not serving you, and I really am not going to feel good from eating this. So just always be truthful with yourself. There's no reason to eat things that you don't like just because you think you need to be healthy. There's way too many foods out there for us not to find something we can get crazy about. Second of all, is it going to make you feel good, both physically and mentally? Because a lot of times we end up making a food choice and then we feel guilty about it later. And that just puts us back on this cycle, right? We want to break free of that. And finally, do you feel good about it? That's kind of taking into consideration, where that food came from. Who did you pay for that food? What's the packaging of that food, right? We know now that we can actually vote with our dollar. We can take a stand, right? And we can actually make a political statement in the food that we eat simply by saying, no, I'm aware that there's an ingredient in this food that is causing the rainforest to deplete because we have to make palm oil. Don't even get me started, people. Don't even get me started. So this is how we start raising awareness on our food choices and go, hey, wait a second, is this really what I need? Is this really what I want? And does this really line up with how I want to live my life? And if that's meat and that's dairy, then that's meat and dairy, guys, okay? No more limitations. And so getting back to this rainbow diet, what a great base strategy for including more dynamic foods into your diet in a fun, playful way, right? Because we're not counting calories. We're not looking at labels. We're going to the grocery store and we're shopping with our eyes. We're just looking at colors and thinking, how can we make a beautiful dish to nourish our bodies? And if we're looking for foods that have these different colors, right? They have to be naturally occurring colors. And if they're naturally occurring colors, then they're going to be naturally occurring foods. And we're going to naturally stay away from the middle of the grocery store where we find all of those processed foods and those products made for profit. That's what I like to call the food that is in the inside of the grocery store. It's not food, they're products and they're made for profit. And so we're not going to use Doritos for the orange. Okay, guys, that's not how it works. So we're going to talk more about what this idea of eating the rainbow is and how you can start eating a more dynamic diet today. It's that easy. But before we get started, I want to do a little thing that I began. This is how we're going to kick off every show, and it's going to help us learn more about Ayurveda together, okay? One card at a time. Ayurveda being the oldest health system we have in the world, it stems from the India region of the world about 5,000 years ago, and it's all about honoring ourselves as a mind, body, and soul, and using food and self-love practices to keep us balanced and happy, right? So I just got these cards, and let's see. The Guiding Elements, an Ayurvedic Path, a 65-card deck and guidebook by Erica Karen and Tatiana Beatriz. I'm sorry if I murdered your name. Maybe you'll still want to be on my show. Anyways, what it is, it's 65 cards, and each card has a different guiding wisdom of Ayurveda. And then you get to go to the book and read about what it is. So let's check it out. Da, 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 da. I always start with my deck of cards in front of me. I cut to the left, honoring the past. I cut to the right, honoring the future. Come back to my pile and come in to the now, right? Step outside of routine. Ooh, what does it mean to step outside of the routine? These cards are such a great way to learn about these practices one day at a time, right? It's just too overwhelming sometimes to really try and create and bring so many new things into our life right away. All right, y'all, I found it. Step outside of routine. Step out of your comfort zone and do something you've never done before. It is easy to settle into safe, monotonous routines. We do love our routines, but it is equally important to break out of them occasionally and try something new. Is there something you have never done but always wanted to? Make a list of the things you wish to explore. Don't use logic as you get these ideas out. Just flow with the process. Once you're done free flowing, choose a few ideas from your list to embrace. One of the biggest reasons we don't try new things is because we're afraid. Was I not just talking about procrastination? It's like the same thing, right? We don't do something when we're just a little bit unsure or afraid of the unknown, afraid of feeling awkward or afraid of failure. There are no coincidences in life, y'all. This is so crazy. Okay. By putting ourselves in unfamiliar situations, we are faced with uncertainty. Sometimes the most beneficial part of stepping outside of our comfort zones is the actual act of moving through our fears. By embracing new things and stretching our preconceived limits, we gain inner strength and confidence. Begin where you can and get excited about the adventures yet to come as you shed your caterpillar body and grow into your beautiful wings. Oh, that's lovely. And at the end, they always give a playful practice. Some ideas include open mic night. Whoa. Okay, this book's really talking to me because that is like my main thing. I play the ukulele, I write songs, I sing, mainly Frozen songs currently. It's my main list right now, but I just want to play. My dream would be like every Friday night, Mama's a singer in a band. That would be my ultimate, but I have stage fright. I'm really afraid. I just get so nervous. So it's telling me right now, get over it, girl. A spontaneous road trip, rock climbing, cooking classes. And I give cooking classes. It's amazing. It's books for me. Or attending a group gathering, whatever you choose. Expand on how it makes you feel and do something new. Practice testing your inner daredevil quite often to relinquish your fear. Do you see how fun these cards are? Just a little bit. In fact, I have to tell you about another one that I did since it pertains to eating, and that was, it was called, Satisfaction Gauge. Satisfaction Gauge. And that's where Ayurveda recommends that when we eat, that we really try to become aware of when we're full. And we want to realize when we're about 75% full, not all the way full, because that's a good time to stop eating. And when you have a little bit of extra room in your belly, your digestion works a lot better instead of it just being filled to the max. That's really taxing on your system. The little guys in there, I always like to picture little construction workers in our belly, just like hacking away at food, being like, proteins, you go over here, carbs, you go to the brain, fats, you go make the hair beautiful. And they're just like sorting stuff all the time. And I like to imagine that if we eat too much and our bellies are too full, like those guys don't have any room to work, right? It's just too packed in there. Like we need a little bit of space so that everybody can do what they need to do. So satisfaction gauge, I put it on my fridge, actually. I literally tacked it up there and it was really helpful. So let's get into this whole idea of eating the rainbow. What does it mean? And why do I want to tell you about it? Well, like I said, this is a really great base strategy for somebody who's going, I just want to generally feel and eat a little bit better. I want to paint a picture, right? If you do this. So going to the grocery store, it can be really fun to just simply say, I just want to go around the produce section and fill my basket up with all different colors. In fact, I'm going to share a picture with Sadie, and she's going to put it up on the screen right now. And you're going to see this was my basket at the grocery store the other day. I was having so much fun, probably because I was there alone and not with a 1 and a 3-year-old, right? Whenever you run errands without children, do you feel like you're just moving at lightning speed? Like, wow, I go so fast. So I was having a good time and I was putting all these foods in the basket and I thought, this is actually something that's really fun and can really add things to your diet you're not used to eating because you're simply just looking at the color and you're not thinking how many calories is in this? Is this keto? Can I eat this? No. What color is it? That's all we need to worry about. Get the color, you're good, go home and make it. But what a great fun thing for your kids. My kids are still a little young, so they do better staying in the cart. But we're more like, what color is this? And then we put it in the basket. How many limes does mommy have? But if your kids are a little bit older, you can get them involved and send Junior out to get something green. Send little Susie out to go grab something purple, and think about it. Like the red and the green things are always easy, but what's yellow? What's purple? What's blue? And if you're thinking, well, I just don't need all these random foods, maybe just stick to a fruit platter, right? Let's make a fruit platter today. We're going to get fruit of all different colors of the rainbow. We're talking about the rainbow too. Great learning skills for children. We're going around, we're learning about food. We're learning about food we may never had before. This is lifestyle change. This is where life gets better. Connecting with ourselves, connecting with our family, doing something fun, and allowing food to bring that happiness to ourselves, right? This does not come from following some diet that was made for people in the masses, right? Lifestyle change doesn't come from following somebody else's rules and trying to count calories and trying to stick into some type of guideline that somebody else put forth. True lifestyle change comes from looking inside and loving yourself and choosing every day in the moment to do something good for yourself, right? So eat the rainbow, right? Embrace eating the rainbow. What it's going to do is going to bring new foods into your diet, and a dynamic diet is the best for us. In fact, nature shows us that diversity is key, right? If you look at a rainforest, The most beautiful thing about a rainforest and why they're so powerful and beautiful is because they are so diverse with all the different animals and the plants and the fungi and all of it. It's so beautiful. If you look at a farm is going to run more efficiently when there is diverse animals and plants and seeds growing, right? Everything does better with diversity, even the human race, y'all, okay? Diversity is key. And when it comes to your diet, it's no different, right? Nature shows us through its beauty how we need to operate within our own life. It sets the example for us. Diversity is key. So eating the rainbow, right? Just thinking about where do I go find these foods? You're going to include more dynamic foods in your diet, and you're going to be doing it. You're also going to have fun when you go out shopping because you're looking with your eyes. And when you come home and you put something together, it's going to be beautiful on your plate. It's going to have all the different colors. Now, we do need to go a little bit deeper into this, okay? So where does this idea of eating the rainbow come from? Well, it comes from our chakras. So I don't want to get too deep into this, right? Because this is an approachable, easy thing to come into our lives, right? Just eating the rainbow. But I do need to explain where it comes from. So chakras they are energy wheels inside our body, right? Little spinning wheels of energy. And there are a lot of them, but we typically talk about the main 7. And anybody who's gone to maybe have acupuncture or has gone to a yoga class or a naturopath or anything could possibly have heard about the 7 chakras. And each chakra has an affiliation with a different color, and it actually looks like a rainbow, right? So the 7 chakras start at the base of our spine and move all the way up into our crown chakra, which is just above our head. And each chakra is represented by a different color of the rainbow. And so you can, not limited to though, choose foods that will balance that chakra because of the color the food is, right? So our root chakra number 1, located at the base of the spine, is red. So yes, you might be thinking, does that mean I eat red apples and I balance my root chakra? Yeah, it does. Like, how easy is that? Love it. Your next one is your solar plexus, and that color is orange. So again, orange food. But there are other foods and ingredients that you can use for the chakras, but that's kind of your basic intro. And these chakras in our body pertain to, they represent or they govern certain physical characteristics of our body and also mental and spiritual aspects of our personality. Right? And so just to give you a quick example, our root chakra is where we find our identity, who we are, right? And our sense of survival. So somebody who may be feeling like they're going to lose their job and they feel like every day they walk in, they're going to be fired, probably is very unbalanced in their root chakra because that job is what's giving them money. It's who they are. It's what they went to school for, right? They see themselves, this is who I am. I do this job, and this is how I provide for my family. And when that's being threatened, my sense of survival is being threatened, right? So that's how it works. And what's great is that it allows us to kind of have this roadmap as far as how we can be our own healer, because if we recognize what we're feeling either physically or emotionally, and we can tie that to a chakra, then the chakra is going to tell us what foods to eat, what yoga poses to do, what mantras to say, what crystals we can use if you're into your crystal healing, right? It is, or essential oils as well, right? And even behavioral changes. All of these things can help balance our chakras. So obviously, I'm all about the food part. And I want to share with you a special book. And if anybody is looking to dive into this a little deeper, there's a lot of information out there. I would recommend some books by this particular doctor. Her name is Deanna Minich, and I hope it's Minich or Minich. And I'm hoping I'm not murdering your name. But she has literally written the book on the subject. In fact, she's written about 7 books. She's a doctor. She's a yoga instructor. She's PhD. she's well versed. She knows what she's talking about here. And she does 7 different books. And the one I have right now is called Chakra Foods for Optimum Health. She also has one out called The Rainbow Diet. That's really easy to remember. The Rainbow Diet. I have to share this book with you guys because this is just incredible. Like, this is how the world works, okay? So I recently have ordered a bunch of books on all different kinds of crazy stuff that I'm into. One of them being this book, Chakra Foods for Optimum Health. And I'm reading it, right? I'm reading the preface. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this woman is speaking to my soul. Like, how so many things that I've said, she's saying. It's like, okay, I'm on the right path because I'm not a doctor. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, this woman is like needs to be my mentor. Where are you? And I want to read to you some of her words because I wish I could put things this beautifully. But what a great overall explanation of why food has the power it does to change our life. I always say every meal is an opportunity to propel your life in the direction you want it to go, right? There's so much potential in every meal. And here she says, food has an amazingly potent effect on the emotions, body, mind, and spirit, and conversely, our food choices affect these parts of us as well. We can eat in harmony with who we are as a unified body and soul. When we function as an optimally resonating collective, we can be grounded and creative in the present moment. We can focus on tasks at hand, helping us to feel a sense of accomplishment, which right there, you guys, I always talk to when I'm working with people one-on-one, I always say, at the end of the day, and you close your eyes, do you feel accomplished, right? That's what makes us feel good at the end of the day, just feeling accomplished. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we tick off a lot of boxes of to-dos. If you needed that day to focus on self-love and a little self-care, right? If you needed that day to be a day off, to sleep in and to eat pizza and to go to the movies with your kids, and you knew that you needed that, you will feel accomplished at the end of the day because you heard yourself and you did something good for yourself, right? So it's just funny the way she writes. I'm just like, what is going on? She continues, we are able to take better care of ourselves when we know what we need moment to moment. Therefore, we will have more radiant bodies. We will be our perfect weight. Shine forth our radiance through clear eyes and skin. Speak our truth without the layering of lies and deceit to others and ourselves. Harness a wealth of energy so we are not dragging throughout our days, and be able to connect creatively with elements at hand to tap into the universe of opportunities available to us at all times. That's beautiful. In fact, I did contact her because you guys are going to lose it. Okay. So I'm reading this, right? And I'm having these thoughts like, I need to email this woman. I need to get in touch with this woman. Like, this is just like, these are my thoughts. These is like speaking to my soul. I get down to the end. I'm in Gig Harbor, Washington. Deanna, Port Orchard, Washington. I know. That's like 20 miles down the road, you guys. Okay. Neighboring city. How crazy is that? That was just like the universe being like, slap in the face. You're on the right track, girl. It was just so exciting. And so I reached out to her. She has a podcast on food and how it can change your life. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to, though, I promise you. Probably by the time this show airs, I would have listened to it. But she's my latest obsession. I did get in touch with her, asked if she could be on the show. I did hear back from her representative. And she's so amazing. She's super busy. But this summer, she'd love to be on the show. So I just have to follow up. You guys, please put a little energy out there into the world right now. Get this lady on this show. We need to talk to her. This is my life, lady. Come, I want to hear from you. I want to meet you. I want you to be my mentor. I want you to be everything. I just think she's a really cool lady. And it's just really, I feel love when I read those words. I don't know about you, but I feel love when someone tells me that a world of possibilities is waiting for me in my next meal. I like that, right? I like that relief of like, you don't have to worry about sticking to some kind of diet. You don't have to worry about counting calories. You don't have to worry about sticking to a list, right? Just go and embrace the colors of the rainbow, embrace the food, have fun with it, and include things into your diet. That's what I'm all about. When I work with my clients, I do sometimes tell them to cut certain things out of their diet. I suggest when I know that it might be something that's very damaging. But it's not the focus. The focus is inclusion. What can we bring into our world? Because when we start to make choices out of love and compassion for ourselves, and most importantly, understanding, right? That's where that chakra idea comes in. Like, I understand I'm feeling threatened by maybe losing my job. I understand that I have this fear and that my root chakra is out of balance. And I understand that that means I need to be eating a lot more of red foods, right? Or maybe you're really getting into it and now you have a book and you can go read about all the different ingredients that you can use to balance your root chakra. It's a holistic approach, you guys, but we can start by simply looking at the color of our food, right? Now, let's point out that if this feels like a lot of information, coming up later in the year, we are actually going to dive into each chakra. And we're going to really look at what that chakra represents, what the foods are, and better yet, we're going to do you one better. What recipes are going to be good. So the chefy is coming. We're going to bring lots of yummy recipes. Maybe we can even do a little tutorial. I don't know. Let's see what we can do and break up the monotony of these podcasts and do something really fun and actually create some fun, colorful meals together. So this is episode 1 of just kind of leading you into this idea of how we can eat for our chakras, eating the rainbow. It's really as simple as that. There are a lot of recipes that I have even on consciousculinary.org. And when you scroll down and you look at the recipes, there's usually a picture of the food. But for the chakra foods, it's just the color. It's like the emblem of that chakra. So it's so easy. If you go to consciousculinary.org, just look for the color. Do you need red? Do you need yellow? Do you need green? That's how it's all organized for you to make it really easy. So how can we start incorporating this today, right? One suggestion I would have the next time you're going to go to a party or the next time you're going to have people over, try to make a rainbow fruit platter because it's really easy. There's so much fruit. So, and that's really fun. Sometimes the biggest problem is deciding what fruits to use because there's just so many. I used to make a fruit platter every morning when I was a chef in yachting, right? Every morning you get a huge fruit platter. And I would say that was probably... looking back, I didn't realize it at the time, but that was probably like a really great ritual that brought a lot of love into my life because I had so much fun putting fruit on a platter and making it look pretty. And fruit's sweet and delicious too, right? We all love fruit. It's beautiful. And I would do the rainbow fruit platter all the time. So that's a great thing you can start doing today. Also, go to the grocery store and find something yellow. Find a yellow vegetable. That's my call to action for you, okay? Because yellow is not very common. So go to the grocery store, find something yellow, cook it up, go to the website, find a recipe, whatever you need to do. Just include one thing, okay? It's one day at a time. Just like these cards help us learn all about the Ayurvedic wisdom, one card at a time. Go out and love yourself. You guys are worth doing good things for yourself. You're worth making good decisions, okay? And it really is as simple as just eating the rainbow. So we're going to be back talking more about this. So look for more episodes. We're going to dive into the root chakra first. That's coming up, I think, possibly more like May. But it's all coming your way in 2021. Thanks for being here with me. I'm Tracy Clark, and this was the Conscious Culinary Podcast.